Yeah. All right. Mic check 1, mic check 2. If you are watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people some time to tune in. Yeah, I got an awesome show for you guys tonight. I hope you had an awesome day in life and in the markets. I say either or first. I don't remember. Yeah, I hope you had an awesome day in the markets and in life. That's how we do that. That's how we say that. All right, guys, let me share this live stream over on Facebook. But before I do that, let's go ahead and get the social stream chat. Let's get the social stream ninja launched and going. Okay, I did not hear and I don't see. There we go. We got it. I can hear it. We're all good. So we got social stream going. Now let's share the live stream over on Facebook, guys. You are fantastic. The channel is growing and it's growing and growing. We are almost at 100,000 views on the channel. We might be able to reach it before tomorrow's live stream. Shoot, we might be able to reach it tonight. Who knows, but it's coming. Subscribers going up, likes, engagement. Man, you guys have been amazing. Amazing. So let's go ahead and share this stream. There you go, right there. All right. Share the stream. And we got about 3 minutes until the start of the show. So let's go ahead and share this. We are live. We are live. Yes, we are. There we go. Share now. Bam. Okay, guys, we are good on Facebook. Let's go ahead and close that out. We have everything else set up for the show. Now it's just a matter of 11 o'clock becoming 11 o'clock. And then we can go ahead and start. Meanwhile, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It helps out tremendously, and I appreciate you. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, we got the like. We got all that stuff done. Yeah, so I had everything set up ahead of time today. You know, we getting better. We're getting the show started on time. I'm here like 5 minutes to 11, somewhere up in there, and we start the show at 11. So that's been doing good. Portfolio's looking good for the last 2 days. The market's going crazy. And I believe that we're doing pretty good based on what was going on. I think it was some sector rotation happening and it was shaking a couple of people out, triggering some stop losses and providing some liquidity for the big institutions, the smart money and all of that. But now that they done shook a couple people up, scared the mess out of everybody, now the market taking off. Boom. Now it's taking off, but we gonna talk about it. We definitely gonna talk about it tonight. In 1 minute. We got 1 minute until 11. Yeah. We got 1 minute. Woo. Yep. All right, so we got that where it need to be. Got the script ready and all of that other good stuff. Yes, sir. All right. All right, guys, let's go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God. Oh, thank God. It is Tuesday, guys. It is Tuesday. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker AMD. You might know them better as AMD. Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated was founded in 1969 by Jerry Sanders with its first office opening in Santa Clara, California. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $700 billion. Yes, that's billion dollars. AMD is in the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment industry in the information technology sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of AMD's AMD's competitors are NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Intel Corporation, ticker INTC, and Broadcom Incorporated, ticker AVGO. We're going to review AMD's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday, following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to these earnings. So we got that. Take that down. We'll go here. Earn. Boom. Let's go. All right. Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated, ticker AMD, the $790.3 billion company, reported its second quarter earnings on Tuesday, August 4th. They have a 52-week high of $584.73, which took place on June 30th, and a 52-week low of $149.22 that occurred on September 8th, which is a trading range of $463.23. And they closed today at $518.58. AMD earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $11.5 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $11.3 billion. And they beat on the bottom line as record data center segment demand generated $6.7 billion in revenue, up over 107% year over year. EPS was higher than analysts and market expectations of $1.61 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $1.66. AMD reported a GAAP net income of $2.3 billion, which is higher than the $872 million net income they reported the same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 163.8%. So for the second fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 62.1% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management expects third quarter revenue of approximately $13 billion. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $518.58 represents an increase of $247. Wait a minute. My mouth dry too. Give me a second. I almost did it, didn't I? Let's back this up. All right. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $518.58 represents an increase of 247.53% over a span of about 11 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in September at that 52-week low of $149.22, they would be seeing a gain of $2,475.30. Woo! All right, guys, we did that. Now let's go ahead and move on. Let's go here. Yeah, we good, guys. We good. All right, let's talk about researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition, and how well do they take care of their employees? Where we look, we search for those answers in four main areas. The homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, values, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for stock quotes, charts, and financial reports. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go to AMD's website. Here we go. Bam. Bam, bam. All right, guys, we good. We are good. All right, I did not browse over this website before we did the live stream, but we gonna be all right. So right here at the top, I'm gonna go to resources and support and see if we can find some of the places we need to go. Support home, No, I think everything we need, guys, is going to be at the bottom of the website. If not, we'll come back up to the top and dig around. So let's just go ahead and get started. Your trusted partner for advancing AI. Confidently build your AI business outcomes. Looks like some news right here. AI solutions, why AMD? AI is reshaping every business function. AMD helps you move from ambition to outcomes with a trusted, open, and flexible compute foundation. Broadest portfolio of AI solutions, open ecosystem approach, proven leadership in innovation. Okay. The most trusted companies trust AMD. Leading businesses trust AMD. To help solve the world's most important challenges, AMD Technologies partners with the world's most trusted companies. Take me off the screen for a second so you guys can see the partners, clients and partners that AMD works with. So that's Amazon, Subaru, Shell, Cisco, Siemens, Microsoft, Hewlett-Packard, and a lot of these companies, Dell, I recognize are in Salesforce, are in the S&P 500. So that's good. That's a good thing. All right, let's put me back on the screen. AI portfolio, a comprehensive AI portfolio, end-to-end AI solutions across the data center, edge, and endpoints. Data center AI, edge AI, AI PCs, AMD, ROC, MTM software. Got it. Accelerate AI for developers, Developer Central. Latest news, subscribe to the latest news by AMD. All right, take me off the screen. Now, here are the links I was saying we needed. Right up under company, we're going to go to About AMD. We're going to go to careers, and now we need investor relations. Guys, it's over here right up under investors. So we're going to go there last. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go to AMD. Put me back on the screen. About AMD, our company. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm gonna give you some of it. Our company, AMD, is in the high performance and adaptive computer leader. AMD is the high performance and adaptive computing leader, powering the products and services that help solve the world's most important challenges. Our technologies advance the future of data center, embedded gaming, and PC markets. Got it. Our vision. I love how they have this website set up so far. This is very easy to follow. Our vision, high performance and adaptive computing, is transforming our lives. Our mission, build great products that accelerate next generation computing experiences. To achieve real progress, it takes groundbreaking innovation and human ingenuity working together to create something exceptional. Advancing corporate responsibility, building AMD and the culture with progressive leadership. Meet the team. Research, innovation, quality. Join us. We're pushing the limits of innovation to solve the world's most important challenges. AMD, together we advance. Got it. They did a great job of that. So now we can move on to careers. Guys, we're looking for them benefits. Where them benefits at? How well do you take care of the employees? So we talk about culture there, overview, career areas. I'm looking to see if they mention benefits specifically somewhere at the top before we get to scrolling. I don't see it. All right, AMD careers, join us. Together, we'll advance your career and the world. View all jobs, advance your career, advance the world. Accomplish the most meaningful work of your career and change lives for the better with the company leading technology and AI advancement. So they have a video here you can watch. Remember, links to the websites that we're featuring are down in the description for your convenience. Career areas. So these are different departments: engineering, sales and marketing, or marketing and sales. Corporate functions, student programs, life at AMD. All right, guys, see, they doing a great job with this website. There you go, benefits. There you go. Together we advance is more than a tagline. It's who we are at our core. At AMD, you're a valued member of a community that cares, connects, and succeeds together. Benefits. So guys, here it is. I'm gonna keep scrolling, but we know where to come back to, okay? So that's the benefits. Our culture, put me back on the screen. Our culture is built on action, pushing boundaries, solving meaningful problems, and doing it together. The real differentiator is our culture. Our success comes from a culture that values bold ideas, disciplined execution, and collaboration at every level. So that is Chair and CEO Lisa Su. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. All right, our people, that looks like a lot of stuff. We can scroll through there. Okay, guys, we went over that whole page. Let's go to the benefits section and see what they share and break down, okay? So thrive at work and beyond. At AMD, our people drive our progress. Our benefits are designed to support your total well-being, financial security, and personal growth so you can thrive in every part of life. If you saw that fly, I've been telling you guys, if you've been following along, when these doors get opened up, the flies be like, oh, the door open, and rush into the house. So we got a few in here that might be making some cameos. So I'm letting you know I see it and you might see it. All right, so there we go. Money and rewards, health and well-being, work and life, personal and professional development. Yeah, guys, they do a good job of being transparent and breaking that down before somebody applies for the job. So they did a great job there. So let's go to investor relations. Remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely would appreciate it. So here we are on the investor relations page. Stock data looks like it's right here at the top. So that's easy to find. But let's scroll over this page, see what we can find, and then we'll come back to the stock data. The industry's high performance and adaptive computing a leader. Got it. Latest news, stock snapshot. So there's the stock quote. They have that on this page. Latest financial results. So we know they just reported their Q2 for 2025. Latest events, advancing corporate responsibility. Got it. So let's go up here to stock data. There we go, guys. So here is a chart they have available for investors, stock quote, and there are other investor tools that they have available right here on the website. All right. So we did that. Let's talk about AMD's clients and partners. So let's go here. So this is part of my research. AMD does have clients and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, Alphabet Incorporated, ticker GOOGL, and Meta Platforms Incorporated, ticker META. And we saw that on the homepage when they were talking about their partners, their clients. I think they call them partners, but they're the same thing, partners and clients. All right, so we got that. Now, let's talk about the mobile limitations. So take this down. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on full trading platforms. Now, let's look at AMD on the charts. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then I got something I want to tell you guys, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's go to the charts. Bam, 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 AMD. We got the SPY pulled up. Let's go to AMD. So we'll type in AMD in the symbol box. All right, here we go, guys. So we have pro market close pulled up. I need to check something because it looks a little off to me. So we're time axis. Oh, it's right. Okay. So guys, we are looking at AMD on a 1-year daily chart. That's what we have pulled up right now. They have a 52-week low of $149.22, which we talked about, but there it is. Here's their 52-week high, $584.73. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to go to a higher time frame. So we're going to go to a 10-year weekly chart. We can see that right here. Now, just because we have that chart pulled up don't mean we're going to get a full 10 years. So let's confirm that. And we can see there's 2016 buried behind these icons. So they have a 10-year low of $5.66 and a 10-year high of $584.73, which is also the 52-week high, which we have right there. Okay, so let's undo that one. Go back to the higher time frame and put these boxes back. I don't know how I end up doing that, but put the boxes back. And we're looking at the higher time frame. So we're still looking at the 10-year weekly chart. So it's a couple things I want to cover and point out to you. So since most of the price action you can see is no historical price data at these levels where we are now, so we can pretty much focus on the 1 year daily chart because that's where the majority of the levels are going to be at right now. On the long-term time frame, that's a while before it comes down to, well, we don't know how long it's going to take or if it's going to come down there, but it's a significant price difference to come down here to this level that we have on a higher time frame at $266.96. Okay, now let me erase this box as that's all off. That's off now. And I want to talk about the 9-week simple moving average, which is $517.63, and the 200-week simple moving average, which is $167.12. That's also over here in the bubble. We can't see it over here because the closing price for this week right now is so close to the SMA. The closing price takes priority over it. Okay, so that's why we can't see it. Now that we did that, we looked at that on the higher time frame, let's go down to the 1 year daily chart and let's start our technical analysis. Let's start breaking this stuff down. All right. So guys, AMD has gapped a few times, so we're going to focus on that. And I want to point out the fact that the earnings were announced after the market closed today, which we talked about earlier, and the market gapped. Okay, but I'm not going to give away which way it gapped, but it gapped. So we're going to cover that and I'm going to break that down. So today, the resistance area that we already had on the charts, and it shouldn't be yellow, so let me change this because that gap has been filled. So that was a previous gap we were looking at as a resistance zone, and that's where it stalled out today before the market closed. We can see the high of that candle in there. Let's spread this out a little bit. All right, and we can see that there was a gap up between Monday and today. So here's Monday's candle, here's today's candle. So let's identify this gap up. So yesterday's high, today's low, edit properties. We're going to make this yellow because we make our gaps yellow on this channel. And then we're going to take it to January 1st of 2027. So we rolling on to the next month. If you've been following along, we always do December 1st of this year, but now we're rolling out. So we're going to January 1st of 2027. So that's what we have for the recent gap between Monday and today. Here is the high of yesterday, and here is the low of today. So the bottom of that gap is $490.95, and the high of that gap is $502.20. And that's also near a psychological price level, guys. And I'm gonna put that on the chart so that'll be easy to keep in mind. So that's $500, guys. Nice, not 500%. $500, nice round number psychologically that people might be a little shook about. So we have that. And I want to put a little bit more on here about resistance. I like that level right here. We can actually do this as a zone, guys. But I want to catch as many highs, lows, opens, and closes as I can with the price level that I'm looking at. So when we look right here, that catches a lot of them in that area, and then we can make it a zone. So let's go ahead and use that. We'll make it a zone. We'll go here, and then we'll go to this one. And then we'll extend this over. Same date, all right? January 1st, 2027. Now I'll put 2 price levels. So that's the bottom of that resistance zone, and here is the top of that resistance zone. So that's what I'm seeing there. We talked about the 9-day simple moving average. No, we didn't. So we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, guys, this previous gap right here, I'm seeing that as potential support if the stock comes back down. Okay, so let's identify that. So that was May 21st. So we're going to take the high of May 21st and the low of May 22nd. I'm going to extend this over, same date, January 1st, 2027. Bam. We already have the right shade there already. I believe so. All right, now we're going to put the price level for the bottom of that resistance zone, support zone, and the top of that support zone. So that's what we have. And look at that. 451.20 is close to another psychological number, which would be $450. $450. So those are our supports and resistance. Now, before we look at what happened in extended hours, let me point out where the 9-day simple moving average is. So that's at $489.50. And the 200-day simple moving average is at $314.56. All right. So now we have our supports and resistance that I'm seeing. And now we're going to go look at the extended hours, because we can see that AMD is trading lower than where it actually closed at today. It's trading around $475 right now, but we can't see that on the daily chart. So we're going to have to go to a intraday chart. So let's go over there right now. I took off all that stuff. Here we go. So earnings, that's where earnings was announced, and boom, the stock took a dip, guys. Took a dip after hitting a little high right there. So let's go back. 584, 532. So this is the 5-day high. So let me tell you where we're looking. Let me break this down, guys. We're looking at a 5-day minute chart. So this is the highest price within the most recent 5 days. That's why you see that bubble there. Okay. So this is the highest it's been in the most recent 5 days. When the earnings came out, price plummeted, came down, and it looks like the lowest point in extended hours is going to be right here. So let me take me off the screen so you can see that. Let's put the price level there. So guys, that was jumping around. Give me a second. Ooh, this is a mess. I know another way to do this without having to move that around. Let me just edit properties. $463.20, guys. That was the low on that candle. Another way we could have did it was just to do this. Let's open up the floating data box, mouse over that candle for that minute, and it'll tell us what that low was. That low was 463.20. So we confirmed it. It was a couple of ways we could have did it. I didn't have to wrestle around like that, but that's what I did. All right. So we see that. And I wanted to show you how to put this extended hours on your chart, just in case you didn't know how to do it. We go right here to settings. We go right here to where it says equities, guys. There's a box right here that says show extended hours trading session. If that box is not checked, like I just unchecked it, you will not see it. You're going to see the closing price for today right here on that green candle at that 518.58. You're going to see that. So you have to go back to settings, go to equities, and check that box that says show extended hours trading session. And that's how we got it. That's what we see. And as we noticed, take me off the screen, the price came down near that support zone that we have on the charts. So our support zone was at the top of it was at $461.71, and extended hours, it came down to 463.20. So that's what we have there. And I'm going to name this extended hours low, so we know what this is on the chart, at least for right now. Extended hours low. All right. So that's what we have there. Put that back, put me back on the screen. Let's go back to the 1 year daily chart. Guys, we got enough technicals on here to go ahead and get our stock quote for AMD so we can move on. So let's go up here to our settings, cut on the floating data box, and we're going to mouse over today's candle and let's talk about it. So AMD opened today at $504. They had a high of $530.13. They had a low of $502.20, and they closed today at $518.58, which was a trading range of $27.93. Guys, the trading volume for today was 48 million shares of AMD was traded today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We about to find out. So let's cut off this floating data box. Take me off the screen, and right here, the average trading volume for AMD in a daily trading session, guys, is 43 million shares. Today, they did 48 million. Now, keep in mind, the earnings were announced after the market closed, so we should see a nice spike in volume tomorrow based on the reaction of the earnings. The previous trading day traded 24.4 million shares. So that's that candle right there. So that was definitely below average. Okay. Put me back on the screen, take off some of this drawing stuff. And now we can talk about the volume percentile before we move on. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume on this candle was higher than 74.2% of those most recent 252 trading days. I know that was a mouthful, but that was that. So to be exact, only 65 of those 252 trading days had higher volume than today. Okay, so that's what we got. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's move on. Let's go here, take that down, go there. Bam. All right. Notable earnings released today. I want to share this with you. This is something new, just in case it's not just one company that did earnings today. It might be some other stuff you want to know about. So here's what I added. Okay. So SpaceX, or Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, ticker SPCX, announced earnings today. McDonald's Corporation, ticker MCD, and Caterpillar Incorporated, ticker CAT. All of those companies announced earnings today. All right, now let's go to community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. All right, and it takes $10 to become the first sponsor of tonight's show. So there's that. All right, now where are we going? We're going to the S&P 500 index. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. So let's go to the charts, guys. Let's go to the charts. So we got that. Bam, bam, bam. Got it. Yeah, we on the charts. All right, so let's go up here to our symbol box and let's type in SPY, S-P-Y. There we go. All right, let's put the ticker for that up. Take the light down. There we go, guys. So we are looking at the SPY on a 1-year daily chart. And remember, yesterday we were talking about the 52-week lows for the SPY are starting to roll off. And we put that price level there, where this day right here will eventually become our new 52-week low, and that was on March 30th. So right now, our current 52-week low is $625.58. Our new 52-week high is $773.41. Our previous 52-week high was, I believe it was $760.40. And we have been looking at that for a minute. It was this candle right here. And we had that price level marked out over here on the right. Okay, so we got a new 52-week high, guys. We got something new we can work with. All right, so put me back on the screen, take off all this scribble, and let's go ahead and zoom in and focus on where we are right now. Before we do that, guys, I want to give you the simple moving averages on the higher time frame. All right, let's point that out. I want to make sure I do that. So the 9-week simple moving average, I'm moving too fast. We're looking at a 10-year weekly chart. Let me slow down a little bit. We're looking at a 10-year weekly chart, and now we're just looking at the simple moving averages on a weekly time frame. Okay, so this is the 9-week simple moving average coming in at $746.42. Our 200-week simple moving average is at $549.86. All right, so we have that. Now let's go back down to the lower time frame and let's zoom in on the area that we focus on, and then we'll talk about the simple moving averages on the daily chart in a moment. I want to get these levels first. Ooh, you know what? When it comes to these stocks hitting new highs like this, it's no man's land. There's no historical data to try to use to find levels. So guys, we're pretty much, this is going to be real easy with the technicals because we already have our previous levels. But I am going to point this out to you because we've been talking about it, but we didn't mention it again. So for a while, The SPY was just trading in between this zone. And we have been talking about this. So this was the consolidation. The majority of the body of these candles are within this box. So some people were drawing it as a triangle, but I was seeing it as the trend was sideways for a while. Then we had this break to the downside right here, but it recovered nicely and went right back into that zone. So when we see consolidation, guys, it's either going to break out to the top or it's going to break out to the bottom. This red made people think, that big red candle right here that fell out of that zone made people think, oh, this might be breaking to the downside. And that's not what happened. Following that candle, the very next day, it was able to close above the 9-day simple moving average. And it's been trucking ever since. And every time it opens above a new support level, guys. Look at that. Every time. And we already had these levels on the chart. You can go back and watch our previous live streams and see that we've had these levels. We've been talking about these levels. So this 749.88 and the 737.05, that was the zone that it was trading in the majority of the time. When it opened on, this is Friday. When it opened on Friday, it even came down during the regular trading session to test that 737.05 and close back above that $744.44 price level we had on the charts. Then on Monday this week, it opened just below that 749.88, which is also near a psychological price level, which would be $750, right? So then it barely went below that area of resistance. Since it opened below it, it was resistance, but it was able to close not only above that price level, but also close above our other area of resistance, which was $755.44, convincingly, because it's like in the midpoint of that new resistance, support and resistance zone. Then today, it opened above our next level of resistance. We've been had these levels on the charts, guys, but this was the previous 52-week high, $760.40. Opened above it, never looked back. Boom, just took off today. So that's what we got going on with the SPY. So if it pulls back, you can use a Fibonacci retracement, or the or the levels that you find on the chart, not just but the Fibonacci retracement would be from this low to that high. So let me show you what that would look like instead of me just saying it. I'll show you, and then we'll get the stock quote. We can take those boxes off. Stock quote for the SPY. All right, so the Fibonacci is going to be right here. So if we attach it to the low, it depends on where you put it. Yeah, there we go. So we start from the bottom, go to the top. I need to hide those lines, guys. I need to hide those previous lines. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Drawing set, default. Oh, man. It was a way for me to be able to do this. You know what? I'm going to delete those, and then I'm going to put because it looks bunched up. We got a bunch of stuff going on, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the Fibonacci retracements. I'm going to save this default. Let's do that. Save new drawing set. Default is already there. Just put default 2. We don't need to go through all that to name it. Just whatever I did, we'll leave it at that. Let's remove some of these price levels so we'll be able to see. So remove, 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 and remove. Just remove all of them. Just remove those. And now I'm going to use the Fibonacci retracement tool. So I'm clicking the low of this candle from the beginning of that move up to the high. Now, I don't have all the levels on my Fibonacci retracement tool, but you can go into edit properties and you can check the box and cut those on if you want to. I don't like having them all of those on mine. I have the 38.2% retracement. So if it was the pullback, that's the 38.2. Here's the 50% retracement. Here's the 61.8. So like I said, you can go into edit properties and you can add other. You just check the box and it'll put them back on there. And you can see what the pullback would be. That's a 23.6%. All right. I don't like having that one on mine. So edit properties, take that off. Cool. All right. So we see that. Now let's go back to default, put my levels back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove that drawing set and go back to default, and it should put my levels back. Bam! You learn something every day. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and get the stock quote for the SPY. And it's still moving up after extended hours, guys, but we're not going to go over to that chart. You can actually just pay attention right here. When you see this little box, BA, bid ask, you can check to see if those numbers or prices are higher than the closing price of the day right here. $771.33. And right now it's trading around $773 in that range. Okay, so we got that. Cut the floating data box back on. And let's get the stock quote for the SPY. So the SPY opened today at $760.63. They had a high of $773.41. They had a low of $760.52. It only pulled down, it only pulled back 11 cents from the open and just went crazy. So that's what we see. Now they closed today at $771.33, which was real close to the high, which was a trading range of $12.89. Now the volume for today, guys, they traded 69 million shares of this ETF today. And is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We about to find out. So let's cut this floating data box off. Take me off the screen. And then we're going to go over here to our average volume in a daily trading session price levels, which are going to be right here. So the average trading volume for the SPY in a daily trading session, guys, is 71 million. The SPY is still not able to get above that average. It keep trading below average. The previous volume, so this was Monday's volume on this candle right here. Even as it's been making these new highs, it's still been trading below average. Even with it making a new 52-week high, it still wasn't able to get above average, guys. That is crazy. All right, so now let's put me back on the screen. Let's talk about the volume percentage. The volume percentile, that's what we want to talk about. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume on this candle was higher than 51.2% of those trading days volumes. To be exact, only 123 of those days had higher volume than today. DA, days above, DB, days below. Bam. We got it, guys. Now let's go here. Let's take that down, go here. We're talking about the SPY, take the SPY, go there. All right. Sector performance tracker. Time to follow the money. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they perform today. All right. So let's go back to the charts. Go there. We can leave that there. Sector performance chart. We put that ticker there. All right. So we're going to go right up here and change this grid to, let's take these drawings off first. Sector performance. Bam. So here we go, guys. I know that look crazy if this is your first time tuning in, but it's all right. We're going to go through it. We're going to break this down and we good. So we're looking at the percentage change for the SPY and all of the 11 sectors inside the S&P 500 index today. All right. So the SPY is up 1.8%. Energy down 0.5%. Materials up 1.9%. Industrials up 1.8%. Consumer discretionary up 0.1%. Consumer staples up 0.6%. Healthcare down 0.1%. Financials up 0.9%. Information technology up 5% in a day, guys. Communication services up 0.6%. Utilities down 0.6%. And real estate looks flat, but it's not flat. We're going to go over it and break it down in a minute. So, because round it off, guys. It's rounded off. But here is our watch list that's going to give us our specifics. So let's put this in descending order. So you can look right here. If you're looking for the percentage change for a specific sector, you can find it right here. While you're looking at that, I'm about to pull up our notes. I just clicked it and it didn't do nothing. Let me see. There we go. All right, so I already filled this out in our notes, and we're going to go over this. First, let's go ahead and talk about the real estate, because I don't think real estate is our biggest gainer or biggest loser. So real estate was down 0.02% today. That's why it looks flat. Okay, but that was the specifics for real estate. So here we go. Our top gainers as far as sectors today in the S&P 500. Coming in at number 1 is information technology. Our second biggest gainer is materials. Our third biggest gainer is industrial. So that's XLK, XLB, and XLI. Our 3 biggest losers, guys, our number 1 loser is utilities. Number 2 is energy. And third is healthcare. So that's XLU, XLE, and XLV. And we have our numbers right here. Also, you can get them from right over there. Now that we have 2 days this week in the market so far, we can use our tool right here to try to see what sectors are standing out so far. So let's go to both. So we have that selected, and now let's go through each sector to see what's standing out so far. So let's go to communication services. They were our number 1 gainer on Monday at 2.9%. Consumer discretionary was our number 3 gainer on Monday, coming in at 1.8%. Consumer staples was our number 2 loser on Monday, down 0.2%. Energy was our number 1 loser on Monday and our number 2 loser today. Okay. Financials, quiet. Healthcare, number 3 loser on Monday, number 3 loser today. And they're small, but it's losing, but they small. Just keep that in mind, even though they're the number 3 is small losses, small losses. All right. Industrials, number 2 gainer on Monday and number 3 gainer today. Industrials on the bullish side. Information technology, quiet on Monday, but boy, they came in strong today, didn't they? Up 5%. Number 1 gainer today. All right, so materials, number 2 gainer today, up 1.9%. What else we got? I think we got a couple more. Real estate, quiet, which we just talked about. They barely moved. Utilities was our number 1 loser today, down 0.6%. Guys, even though we have some sectors that are in the red in the S&P 500 index, they didn't lose more than 1%. None of them did. None of them lost more than 1%, even though we have some losers. All right. So we got that for our notes. We good. We can go ahead and move on. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, guys, we can go here. Bam, bam. Take that down. Go here. Yeah. So here we go, guys. Biggest gainers and losers. Now let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. And first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right. So let's go ahead and go back to the charts. So there we go. We'll leave that up for right now. We got a lot of stuff on the screen. Let's start collapsing and removing. And we're going to take this grid over to pro market closed. All right, now we're going to go to the Market Watch tab. We have the S&P 500 pulled up. We have the right columns pulled up, but they're not loaded. It's loading kind of slow. All right, that's ascending order. So that's cool. That's what we need. All right, guys. So our biggest loser today in the S&P 500 is Aptiv PLC. Aptiv PLC, ticker APTV. Guys, they lost 16.62% today. Their previous close was $57.23. They closed today at $47.72. Let's pull up our calculator and do a hypothetical. All right, so let's say somebody invested, you know, I'd be struggling with these. I said I'd be struggling. $4,500. Let's say somebody invested $4,500 and they lost 16.62%. We're going to negate that. Then we're going to hit the percentage change, hit equal. Guys, they would have lost $747.90 of their $4,500 investment. We add the principal back to it. They would have been left with $3,752.10. Guys, we got it. All right, so we did that. Let's select Aptiv. before we go over to our Analyze tab. So here we go. Guys, Aptiv, ticker APTV, is in the consumer discretionary sector. So we're going to see how that sector that Aptiv is inside of perform, the industry and sub-industry, okay? So let's go ahead and go over to the Market Watch tab and go to the Visualize sub tab. Let's make sure we have the S&P 500 heat map pulled up. We do. Take me off the screen, and we're going to remove the sponsor for right now because it blocks the heat map. I've been noticing that. So up around here, guys, there we go. Consumer discretionary. We're looking for Aptiv. Now, depending on the size of their market cap, it could be very small, guys, and hard to see. And I think Aptiv is down here in the corner. It is very small. Guys, they're in a they're in a industry by themselves. That's what it look like. Make sure I ain't tripping. Let me pull this over. Yes, we're in the consumer discretionary sector. Now, when I found Aptiv, it's the only one showing up in that box. So they're in the automotive parts. Wait a minute. They're in the automotive components industry, and they're in the automotive parts and equipment sub industry. So if we click on it again, wait a minute. We click on it again. There we go. So let me point this out to you, and I could put me on the screen. Here is the sector, consumer discretionary sector, automotive components industry, and the automotive parts and equipment sub industry. Okay, that's what we have for Aptiv. So once you get the automotive components in there, they in there by themselves. So we back out. That's the automotive components industry. We back out again. Come on, mouse. There we go. As a consumer discretionary. So there we go. So that's the actual sector. So we got a lot going on in the sector, but not a lot going on in that industry and sub-industry. So let's go back to the Analyze tab and let's talk about Aptiv before we visit their website. So we have the company profile pulled up here. Aptiv PLC is their official company name. Here's a link to their website. It's also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company and then go to the website. Aptiv PLC, an industrial technology company, provides hardware and software solutions to support automotive and other industries in North America, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, the Pacific, the Asia Pacific, and South America. Got it. So put me on the screen, take that down, go to their website. I think it's that number. Yep, Aptiv. We got that. We got the ticker pulled up. Yep, we good. All right, guys, let me make sure we zoomed in to where we need to be, and then we can keep it moving. All right. So I see investors at the top, so we're going to go there. I see about, and I see careers. Guys, they did a great job as well. You see when we go to about, they have our mission right there. Easy to find. So what we're going to do, we're going to browse over this homepage and see what we can find out, and then we'll start looking at those different sections. Trusted in enterprise, Aptiv, trusted in medical, trusted in mobility, trusted in energy, trusted in industrials, trusted in robotics, trusted in aerospace, trusted in telecom, trusted in data centers. Man, they got it. We said enterprise, I believe. Guys, they got their hands in a lot of different industries and sectors. So innovation across industries. Yep, industries, a lot of different industries. Technology supporting mission critical applications. Aptiv has the products, technologies, and expertise that companies rely on to deliver performance and reliability for the long haul. Okay, they have the different industries that they're involved in. We can click through this as well. Aerospace and defense. I didn't mean to click. I wanted to scroll. I wanted to scroll over. Oh, no. How do we go back? Home. Yeah, thank gosh. Here's the scroll through right here, guys. Automotive, commercial vehicles, energy, enterprise, industrials and robotics, medical, telecom, aerospace and defense. That's where it was. I was clicking down at that arrow that actually takes you into whatever you're looking at. So we know that now. So Aptiv highlights advanced occupancy classification, lessons from automotive robotics, lessons from automotive for robotics, tech trends to watch. Okay, they got some videos, all different types of stuff on here. Inside Aptiv's technologies, edge classes of the series, mobility decoded, the series, impact every journey, over 51,000 employees worldwide, keep pace with where the future is headed. Okay, guys, we have some links down here at the bottom. Take me off the screen. Let's go over them, browse through them real quick. All right, so we have careers, we have investors, and we have about, guys. And I like that down here we can just click about. You can click it up here as well. So let's just go to about. There we go. Put me back on the screen. Ooh, I'm loving their website. They made it easy. About Aptiv. Delivering innovation, a trusted technology partner with the advanced technologies, efficient processes, and deep expertise to support applications that matter most on a global scale. Who we are. Aptiv is a global industrial technology company enabling automated, electrified, and digitalized solutions across multiple end markets. Got it. Meet the next generation Aptiv. Mission critical applications. They have a video there, guys. Got a link to the down in the description to this website if you want to check this stuff out. A mission based on trust, delivering innovative solutions. People need technologies they can depend on when it matters most. It's Aptiv's mission to build those technologies every day. That's the mission, vision, and purpose. So let's go to vision. Oh, we just could have kept scrolling, huh? I hope they didn't take us somewhere else, guys. I really hope they didn't. But we're going to just go ahead and roll with it, and then we'll go back. So we talked about our mission. We read most of that. Okay, so here's vision. Vision, the world we envision. We see a future in which growing demand for intelligence at the edge as well. Wait a minute, what? We see a future in which growing demand for intelligence at the edge, as well as in the infrastructure that supports it, transforms applications where performance and reliability are paramount. Got it. Okay, so purpose. Innovative solutions are not enough. To have societal impact, solutions must be reliably delivered at a price that enables adoption, which is something none of us can do alone. All right. Our values reflect our culture. So think and act like owners, one team, play to win, do the right thing the right way, shape the future, join us. Got it. Now I'm going to go back to about, because as soon as we clicked on it, it took us somewhere else when I clicked on vision and purpose, but we read over that. I want to just continue browsing over it to see if we missed anything. Okay, so here are some other stats about the company. In over 23 countries, 11 technical centers, 76 manufacturing facilities. Wow. And over 51,000 employees. Oh, we got some maps, guys. We haven't seen some maps in a while. So they're pointing out their location and manufacturing facilities. They're the white dots, and the technical centers are the orange dots. All right, so there we go. We went through that. They did a great job with that. So now we can go ahead and go to careers. Guys, we're looking for the benefits. How well do they take care of the employees, you know? So key hiring areas. Let's look and see if there's something in here about the benefits. Don't see it. So let's scroll and see what we can find. Moving forward together at Aptiv, we are developing groundbreaking technology that is shaping the software-defined future. Join us in creating a future that's safer, greener, and more connected. All right, we talked about those. That's a different number. Now they're saying over 50,000. Remember they said 51? I'm paying attention. Impact every journey. Okay, those are different departments. We believe we're stronger together. One Aptiv. Grow at Aptiv. Working here, career growth, early talent programs, impact every journey, explore open roads, stay ahead of in future mobility. Okay, guys, I didn't see anything that stood out about the benefits, so I'm going to go to working here. It might be here. So I'm going to browse over this real quick because we've already spent, I think, a lot of time on Aptiv's website, but I don't see anything. So I'm ready to move on, guys. I didn't see it. Let's go to investors. So here we are on the investors section of their website. Make sure we zoomed in. I can't see it because they got it up here in the corner. Give me a second. I hate when they do this. There we go, 150. Okay, we have a link right here at the top where it says stock info. So we're going to go there. Let's browse over the page. There's the stock information, delivering innovative solutions, latest news, latest events. Aptiv Q2 quarterly results, latest quarterly results. We got that. So let's go to stock info, stock quote. There we are. So here's the stock quote they have available on their website for traders and investors, people interested in the company. There's the stock chart they have available in other tools. Got it. Now let's go to what I got in my research, guys. So let's go here. We already have that pulled up. Go here. we're good. All right. Aptiv PLC, ticker APTV. When it comes to their goods and services, guys, they manage vehicle architecture and software systems across the automotive, commercial vehicle, and aerospace markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete active safety options, including advanced driver assistance systems and radar sensors for automotive manufacturers. Number two, scalable digital cockpit products, including infotainment hardware, compute platforms, and user experience software for global original equipment manufacturers. And number three, optimized electrical connection systems tailored for power distribution, vehicle electrification, and signal architecture. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include General Motors Company, ticker GM, Ford Motor Company, ticker F, and Tesla Incorporated, ticker TSLA. Now, let's look at Aptiv on the charts. Here we go, guys. Charts. Now, we got Aptiv pulled up, okay? And we're looking at Aptiv. You can see that right here on the 1 year daily chart. They have a 52-week high of $88.93 and a 52-week low of $46.42 that they hit today, guys. They hit that low today. All right. And it looks like they had earnings today. Did they? Yes, they had earnings today. And it was released before the market opened, which makes sense because the market reacted to it, okay? So let's take all of that off. Let's go to a higher time frame. So now we're looking at take me off the screen. We're looking at Aptiv on a 10-year weekly chart. So what we're looking for, we need to see 2016 to know if we're looking at a full 10 years. And guys, it only goes back to the end of 2017. So we're going to call this 8 years. Okay. It's just going back 8 years. So they have an 8-year low of $29.22 and an 8-year high of $180.81. So the majority of this move from here has been a downtrend, guys. $180.81, and now they trading at $47.72. Wow. And they gapped down on earnings, but we're starting to see on the higher time frame right there that today's price action potentially hit a support that's on the higher time frame. So let me go ahead and put this price level here. Let me zoom in, guys. I gotta zoom in because it's just too small. Let me zoom in. Yeah, I want to put the low on this candle right here so it touches 2 candles. All right, so that's $47.80 by putting it there. Now I'm going to zoom out and we're going to look at the crosshairs over to the left. We're going to look at the level over to the left and see how that's responding. So we see that this candle opened around that price level. Then if we were to put another level there, that would be around $92. Nope, that's $43.04. Let me move this over so you can see it. Matter of fact, just zoom in on that area. Bam. So what I did, I put it on the low of this candle. So that way it's touching 3 candles. You got the wick of this one, the wick of that one, and the lower wick or the low on this candle. So remember, these are weeks. So this is the week of March 30th in 2020 that we used on a higher time frame to look at multiple candles that responded to that price level. And then we can just go ahead and hit that 8-year low right there at the $29.22. Far as resistance, so those are supports. As far as resistance, guys, I'm seeing resistance here at this weekly gap. So I'm gonna zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. This gap right here, even though it's been filled, previous gaps turn into potential support and resistance. So I'm going to identify that one, extend that one over to 2027, January 1st. If you've been following along, you already knew. You already knew we was going to do that. There we go. All right, I'm going to put the price level down at the bottom of that resistance zone and then the top of that resistance zone. There we go, guys. All right, now before we leave off this higher time frame, let's get this going. Let's talk about the 9-week simple moving average. So the 9-week simple moving average is at $58.86, and the 200-week simple moving average is at $79.30. And guys, it's trading right now at $47.72, and that is definitely below both of those simple moving averages on this higher time frame of the 8-year, with 10, you know, we only got 8 years of it, but the 8-year weekly chart. So that's what we have there. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our lower time frame. So let's go back to our 1 year daily chart. And guys, the first thing that's standing out to me right here is the gap. Not that arrow, the gap. This is the wrong thing. The gap between yesterday and today. So here's Monday's low. We catch that. We're using the rectangle tool, and then we're going to today's high. So of course, since that gap has not been filled, we're going to make this yellow, and then we're going to extend this over to January 1st of 2027. There's our recent gap. Let's put our price level at the bottom of the gap and the top of the gap. And then we can also see that the top of that gap is where the 9-day simple moving average 56.33. So that's approaching the top of that gap as well. And then our 200-day simple moving average is at 70.45, guys. That's a nice little distance away. We can see that the 200-day simple moving average is starting to curve down. Yeah. All right. So that's what I have for potential resistance. Also, guys, this looks like, where did we get? So we got that gap on the higher time frame. Yep. So this gap that we got on the weekly chart, there's another gap right here. But I'm going to leave what we got from the higher time frame. But I'm saying there's another gap right here between these 2 days. So you can't see them. Those 2 days, that's going to be March 31st of this year and April 1st. Okay. And right here, I'm going to put another price level here because this looks like resistance to me as well. We're seeing a few candles have a hard time respecting, well, it's respecting it as resistance. They weren't able to close above it. This day, and this day. So that's at $70.36. And wouldn't you know it, that's around a psychological number of $70. And we can see that that was responded to over here as well. I'm gonna just do boxes. That level was responded to a lot over there, guys. All right, so we have that. I think we have enough. We have enough to move on, guys. We can go ahead and get the stock quote. We spent a lot of time on Aptiv's website anyway, but this is good. That's enough technicals. All right, let's go ahead and go to the settings, cut on the floating data box, and let's get the stock quote for Aptiv. So Aptiv, well, now all of a sudden I'm pronouncing them wrong. Aptiv opened today at $50.45. They had a high of $51. They had a low of $46.42. And they closed today at $47.72, which was a trading range of $4.59. And guys, they traded 16.9 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We about to find out. So let's cut off the floating data box, take me off the screen, and let's talk about it. So the average trading volume for Aptiv in a daily trading session, guys, is 2.6 million shares traded. Guys, they did 16.9. They almost did 17 million today. So let's do, I don't want to do all of that. I wanted to do the percentage change to try to figure that out real quick. I don't think, my mind, I'm drawing a blank. How many times, what would be the percent? I don't want to embarrass myself. I want to do how many times that, if we just divide it, that'll give us how many times that number goes into there. We can just do it that way instead of just trying to do a percentage. We can do that. So pull this open. All right, so 16 point, no, we don't put, not 16.9, 0.000. So that's the 16. Now we divide that by the average. So that's 2,600,000. Not that far. Just back it up one. All right, that's 6.5 times. So today's volume was 16.5 times compared to what they do on average. Okay, so that was that. Now, the volume for Monday was 4.6 million. So that was above average, but we saw a dramatic increase today. So they did about 2 times what they normally do yesterday, and then they did 6.5 times what they normally do today, and it gapped to the downside. Okay. Woo. New 52-week low at $46.86. $1.42. Now let's talk about the volume percentile, right? Crazy, because I'm peeking at it now. Was I on the screen the whole time I was pointing at this stuff? If you didn't see those numbers, I don't remember if I took myself up off or not. I was just talking like crazy. But here are those different numbers. This is the previous candle's volume, which I pointed at over here, just to run this back, because I don't remember if I was blocking that or not. Here's the average volume, and here's the volume for today. Okay, so we got that. Now I want to talk about the volume percentile. So put me back on the screen. So guys, out of the most recent 252 trading days volumes, today's volume was higher than all of those days. In other words, none of those days had higher volume than today. So there we go. We got Aptiv out of the way. So now we can go to the biggest gainer for today in the S&P 500. Wouldn't you know it? So let's go up to the Market Watch tab. Let's fix this. And then go to the quotes sub tab. Put this in descending order. Guys, the biggest gainer for today is Palantir Technologies Incorporated, ticker PLTR. Guys, we just covered Palantir yesterday, and I knew it. When I was picking these companies for what we were going to cover for earnings, I said, God, they're going to announce earnings after market. They're going to move like crazy, whether that's up or down, and they're going to end up being a gainer the very next day. But it's a popular company, so I wanted to make sure we covered it. So Palantir went up 29.45% today. Their previous close was $125.65, and they closed today at $162.66. Guys, let's do our hypothetical. Excuse me. Let's go here. Go here, put that there. I done cleared everything out. Guys, I don't remember what we used earlier. I don't. So I think it was $4,500. So if somebody invested $4,500 and they got that 29.45% gain, we're going to hit that percentage, hit that. Guys, they would have gained $1,325.25 on top of their principal. So we're going to add the $4,500 back to it. So the total investment would have grown to $5,825.25. Bada boom, bada bing. Guys, we got it. Now we can go ahead and select Palantir and then go over to the Analyze tab. And we can see that Palantir is in the information technology sector. So we're going to see how that sector performed, how the industry that it's inside of performed, and the sub industry. All right. So let's go ahead and go over to the Market Watch tab and go to the Visualize sub tab. Take me off the screen, guys. Here's information technology right here. Bam. All right, we're looking for Palantir. Guys, they're in the software industry. So we're inside the information technology sector. Now we're in the software industry. Bam. Guys, all of this green. Just green, green, green. Now, Palantir is in the application software sub industry. Green, guys. Can you get enough of it? Green, green, green. Let's get some of these arrows. Let's do boxes because those arrows look like they take up too much space. So information technology sector, then we have the software industry, and then we have the application. Make sure. Application. Yes, the application software sub industry. That's where we are with Palantir, guys. So let's back it on out. Software. Yep, application software, just to double check. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to, this is the information technology sector, guys. They did crazy today. Remember, from our notes, they were the biggest gainer today as far as sectors in the S&P 500, almost up 5%. The whole doggone sector is green. I don't think I see one red. This one, so that's monolithic power. That's crazy, man. They did excellent today as far as this sector. All right, now put me back on this. No, we don't need to put me back on the screen yet. Go back to the Analyze tab and put Palantir back here, PLTR. And let's talk about Palantir before we go to their website. So the company profile, Palantir Technologies Incorporated, official company name. Here's a link to their website. Link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. So read a little bit about the company and visit the website. Palantir Technologies Incorporated builds and deploys software platforms for the intelligence community to assist in counterterrorism investigations and operations in the United States, the United Kingdom, and internationally. Got it. Put me back on the screen. Take that down. Go to their website. I believe that's it. Yep. We got their ticker up. Yep. All right, guys. We just covered this company yesterday, and there's a lot of problems with this website. So they don't have the information. They don't have the stock quote. They don't have the stock chart. And they don't have the benefits. The benefits are really generic. So I'm warning you about that right now. So I don't want you to think, well, he didn't do what he normally do. I already know they're not there. So we're going to make this real quick because we didn't already spend a lot of time on that other website anyway. So let's go over Palantir and then we can go ahead and get to the charts. So AI power automation for every decision. Got it. Guys, they got a lot of different programs and stuff like that. So that was moving when we were reading it yesterday. So I remember that. Our software powers real-time AI-driven decisions in critical government and commercial enterprises in the West, from the factory floors to the front lines. Our software. So these are their different brands of their software: AIP, Gotham, Foundry, Ontology, Apollo. Got it. There's so much left to build. Palantirians deliver mission critical outcomes for the West's most important institutions. Got it. What our partners say about us. So this is from different customers, clients, and partners. So you got Wendy's, Walgreens, AT&T, Parexel, never heard of that company before. Heineken. That's moving really slow. It's a lot of companies. All right. So we got through that. Let's look at our links down here at the bottom. Oh, this is a mess. Oh, yeah, it's not at the bottom. So it's up here at the top, right over here, guys, where you see this like hamburger looking thing, those 3 lines. This is where our About Palantir is. So I remember that from yesterday. So here's the investor relations. They didn't have anything in here about careers. So we had talked about, well, I knew about that. So let's go ahead and go to About Palantir, and then we'll go to investor relations. So why we're here: we believe in augmenting human intelligence, not replacing it. Got it. Okay. With good data and the right technology, people and institutions today can still solve hard problems and change the world for the better. What we do: we make products for human-driven analysis of real-world data. We're focused on creating the world's best user experience for working with data, one that empowers people to ask and answer complex questions without requiring them to master querying languages, statistical modeling, or the command line. We build our company around the mission-driven engineering. We meet the problems where they live. We design technology to help institutions protect liberty. We go where we're needed most. Where we're going. Organizations around the world are using Palantir to help them do their most important work. All right, we got through it. We're going right to investor relations. And now, all of a sudden, I don't see it. So let's go back and go down to the bottom of this page. Yeah, I hate Palantir's website, guys. It gave us the flux yesterday. It really did. Oh, it's up here. That's right. It's not at the bottom. See? Investor relations. There we go. Got it. Whew. And like I said, they don't have none of the stock information stuff on here anyway. I just wanted to show you how to get there. All right, let's move on. So we go there. They got my nerves bad, my voice cracking and everything. All right. So Palantir Technologies Incorporated, ticker PLTR, when it comes to their goods and services, they manage data analytics and AI operations across the government, commercial, and defense markets, offering solutions such as: number 1, complete defense analytics options, including Palantir, Gotham, and AI platform for intelligence agencies. Number 2, scalable enterprise data products, including Palantir Foundry, Palantir Apollo, and AIP for corporate clients. And 3, and optimized software platforms tailored for supply chain management, predictive maintenance, and operational decisions. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Merck & Co. Incorporated, ticker MRK, PG&E Corporation, ticker PCG, and Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT. Guys, let's go to the charts. Bam, bam, and we already had our ticker up. All right, so guys, we're looking at a Palantir on the 1-year daily chart. Bam, we got it. Here is their 52-week high of $207.52. 52-week low of $106.37. Guys, crazy on that candle today. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, we got that. Now let's go look on the higher time frame. So now we're going to a 10-year weekly chart. First thing we're going to check, we're going to look for 2016. Guys, it goes back to 2020. So that means we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to say 6 years worth of data. I hope I did that math right, but that's what we're going with. So they have a 6-year low of $5.84 and a 6-year high of $207.52, which is also the current 52-week high. Okay. And we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart, but we're only getting 6 years worth of data. Okay, and the 9-week simple moving average is at $129.61. 200-week simple moving average is at $70.99. Bam, we got it. And we already have price levels here because we just looked at Palantir yesterday. So we can take that off, go back down to the lower time frame. And we can also see that it's pulling back a little bit in the extended hours. That just caught my attention. Wanted to point that out. Now, looking at this chart, we only do a few levels above where the current price action is. So, and then this, I think this was we did earnings on this company yesterday. They were the company we featured as earnings. So I'm saying all that to say, if we look where it stalled out today, it looked like it stalled just above these levels right here. Okay, so let me put that price level there. So we're going to use the price level tool. I would like to use this level right here. Okay. And remember, I like to use levels that's not in no man's land by themselves. So if we use this level, that high also catches the other high. But if we use this high, it would have been over all of those. Even though it looks like that's where it tested, it actually closed on this level. But you know, technical analysis is subjective and you should know that. And if you don't know, it is. So it depends on how that person wants to look at it. That's how I like to do mine. So my highs, my lows, my opens, and my closes, I like to have as many of them as I can to identify potential support and resistance levels. All right. So I'm adding that one because I'm seeing that's where it stalled out today. You could use this one if you wanted to. All right, so we have our levels done already. So let's just point out our simple moving averages now. So our 9-day simple moving average is at $128.66. Our 200-day simple moving average is at $152.54. So I would be looking for support at the 155.68. I would be looking for support on the 200-day simple moving average and at the 145. And then, as we talked about earlier, you could use a Fibonacci retracement. The start of that move to me was right here on the low of this candle right here. So my Fibonacci would start there and then reach to the high of that. So we have a huge gap that we didn't put on there. So let's identify that or put that on the chart right now. Right now. So let's extend this chart, get that going, and let's put this gap here. So let's use the rectangle tool. Connect yesterday's high to today's low, make that yellow, drag this over to make sure you can see it, and then take this over to January 1st of 2027, guys. Bam. Now, the low of that gap is really close to a price level we already have. This one is not so close, so I'll put that one there. I'll extend it a little bit, and I'll open up the property so you can see it. So the bottom of that gap is $126.97. The high of the gap or the top of that gap or window is $143.28. Guys, we're good. We are good. So what we can do, I want to make that candle a little bigger. Drag this over. Then I'm going to cut on my floating data box and we're going to get the stock quote data and all of that for Palantir. So let's get it. So Palantir opened today at $145.15. They had a high of $164.52 and they had a low of $143.28 and they closed today at $162.62, which was a trading range of $21.24. Guys, they traded 175 million shares of this stock today. And I'm gonna tell you something even crazy, but I'm gonna hold it. Is this a big deal? Is this a little deal? We about to find out. So let's take off the floating data box. Take me off the screen. Let's go over here to the average trading volume label. Guys, in a daily trading session, Palantir trades 50 million shares in a daily trading session. And today they did 175 million. They did over three times what they normally do. Compared to what they normally do, they did more than 3 times that. That's how you say it. Woo. Crazy, guys. So this little red candle right there from Monday, they traded 77 million shares that day. So right before the earnings were announced, they did trade above average. But today was nuts, guys. And the craziest thing about this, put me back on the screen. This isn't even the highest volume they've had in the most recent 252 trading days. That's what's blowing my mind. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, this huge green candle right here was higher than 99.6% of those trading days, which means another day, just one day in the most recent 252 trading days had higher volume than today. I don't know what that day was, but it was one of them. Okay. So that's what we have for our volume for Palantir. We have our supports, our resistance. We looked at a few things with that. Yeah, guys, guess what? We done. We is done. So we can go ahead and go here and get ready to wrap up the show. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So you already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, August 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we're reviewing this week's biggest gainers and losers, market sentiment, market volatility, S&P 500 sector performance, and creating a watch list for upcoming earnings. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Take care and God bless.